it's Lindy Lou here again. Today I'm going to make a little dragon, and I'm going to use resin chameleon powders to brush onto it before putting in some resin. And I'm going to use magenta and golden for this little dragon, just 2 colours, keep it simple, and see how it goes. So starting off with the golden chameleon powder, I'm going to brush that onto the dragon scales, and I'm being quite generous with the powder, and I'm going to speed up a little bit here because this can be boring. So I've just sped up the video a little just to show you how I brush it onto the mould. Any excess that spills onto the places that I don't want it to be, I'm just going to use some alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, and cotton buds, and there's the little micro tipped brushes that everyone uses as well, and that tends to wipe away the excess powder that gets in the places that you don't want it to get into. So just putting the golden onto his wee face. It's looking quite nice so far. Usually I use 2 or 3 different pigment powders for these things, but I just thought I'll use 2. I've wanted to use this mould for a while, and I just never got round to it. So I'm going to put the magenta on his little wings and on his little horns and his little ears, or whatever, the wee scales on his back. It's looking quite reddy pink on here, which is, it's quite pretty, and it goes nicely with the gold, I think. I'm going to leave his eyes, so when I make up the resin and add the black pigment paste, the resin will only show in his eyes, because I intend to paint his eyes with my little paint pens that I use for all my little projects. So that's me nearly finished. A bit messy, but that's it done. So I'm now going to mix up the resin, and it's on the heat mat as usual. Got the heat mat on because this is Scotland, and I'm going to stir this for 3 minutes. And there's my little micro brush. Spray a wee bit of isopropyl alcohol on it, and just go around the eyes to get rid of any excess powder that might be sitting in it. I mean, there'll probably be little tiny marks, you can't help that sometimes, especially when there's little finicky sections. And this eye has a lot of finicky little sections. So here's the black pigment paste added to the resin. As you can see, it's a nice opaque consistency. And I did this in 3 stages because I didn't know if I'd have extra, and I didn't want the extra resin to be black. So what I did was I just did it in stages to see how much of the resin I was going to use up. Turned out I used all of it in the end, because these little moulds, they look shallow, but they're actually not. They can be quite deceiving, and I have been mistaken before. When I was measuring out resin, I had to do more. So that's it all filled up. There's a wee bit of overflow, but I cleaned that up, and it's sitting on the heat mat, and I'm going to leave it, and I'm going to see how it goes. So I'm going to demould now, and I'll leave you with the sound of the resin coming out of the mould, which everybody loves. Yeah, there's a wee bit of a lump at the top of it, but doesn't really matter. And there's some excess around it, but I'm going to use my deburring tool to take that off at some point. Can get a couple of wee bits of it off at the moment, but the rest will have to be the deburring tool. And he's turned out quite nice. He's quite cute. The magenta is, I mean, it's looking kind of reddish purple now, but it's more purpley from where I can see it anyway. And the gold can turn a bit green sometimes. So I'm going to paint his wee eyes. And I've sped that up again because it can get quite boring watching somebody doing a mundane task like that. But I'm going to do white round his eyes. And then I've got my blue and my black pens as well, because I'm going to give him little blue eyes with black pupils. I don't know if you just heard that, but the puppy snorted behind me. I don't know whether the microphone will pick it up or not, but she's sleeping away there. So that's the eyes done. And I did gold around the eyelids to kind of match his body, because I thought the black looked a wee bit weird, so I decided to put gold. But I'm really pleased with him. He looks really cute, and for just 2 colours it just looks quite nice. So there he is. I did a bit of deburring already, scraped off some of the excess. As you can see, it's lying on my mat in a big mess. But yeah, he's looking pretty cute, and I'm pretty pleased with him. And I don't know what I'm going to do with him. Might give him away. Who knows? Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I've got a couple of things planned that I would like to do, and I'll show you them in the very near future. So I'll leave you with Little Dragon Man. Bye bye.